If you use a decent selection process, then you can decrease your error in hiring by 50%.
You just don't want someone acting erratically around you, and you know that. So you walk down Bloor, and there's people there that should really be institutionalized, but we deinstitutionalized them all so they could be free, and free to be suffering and malfunctioning out on the street. That's what the freedom ended up being. But you know, you'll walk by someone like that who's muttering away to the voices in his head, and you know, maybe striking out against whatever it is that's plaguing him, and you won't make eye contact. You might even go across the street. You're certainly going to give him a wide berth. You're going to keep a distance between him and you, and you're going to hope that you don't attract his attention, because he's not in the dominance hierarchy and you don't know what the hell he might do. And that's unexplored territory too. That's another way of thinking about it. Like, we inhabit time and space, and our territories are spatio-temporal. We're here now, and this is safe now. It's safe partly because of the physical structure, and it's working.
How to let your why motivate you. Vision and leadership are words that you can drill down into to actually make sense of them. These are words that you can grapple with to understand. If you have two groups of employees, make different plans. One group, a business plan, and the other, a life plan. The people who have a life plan outwork the people with just simply a business plan. Immigrants have necessity driving them. If you don't have necessity driving you, you won't act forthrightly. Allow necessity to drive you forward. Authority and competence is everything. Product is a bypower of having these two traits. With social anxiety, you combat the dragon while also facing negative self-talk. Don't stop thinking about yourself, because you can't. Look at other people when you are socially anxious. When you look at them, you can tell what they are thinking to help calm your nerves.
You know, these words that are bandied about like vision and leadership, you can drill down into them very hard and start to make some sense out of them if you're willing to grapple with them at the level of detail. And I do a lot of that in this book, because a lot of it is about orienting yourself in your life. And I mean, so here's something, for example. We know that, imagine that you have your employees write out a business plan for their own development, right? So the plan would be, how can I become a better employee? You have half your employees do that, and the other half you have write out a different plan, which is, how can I put my life together properly? And then you wait a year and you measure the performance of the two groups. Is the people who make the life plan outperform the people who make the business plan? And that's really quite a stunning finding. You'd expect, and what it means is that if you're going to be effective at work, then you should first of all be effective in your life. And even more importantly, if you have a vision for the direction of your life and your job is serving that purpose, then instantly your job becomes motivating. Because you might be sitting there and thinking, well, why am I doing this repetitive and rather dull task?
The children of first-generation immigrants often do better than their children. And the reason for that is that children of first-generation immigrants have necessity driving them. And you don't know how much you need necessity to drive you, because maybe you're not very disciplined, and the gap between your foolishness and the punishment is lengthened by your unearned wealth, and so you never grow up and learn, and you have to get yourself away from your dependency in order to allow necessity to drive you forward. And that's to become independent and to become mature. And I think part of what's happening in our culture is that the force that's attacking the forthright movement forward of young men in particular is afraid of the power of men, because it's confused about the distinction between power and authority and competence. Has power as a byproduct, but the authority and competence is everything. And people who can't understand that fail to make the distinction between power and authority and competence, and they're afraid of power, and so they destroy authority and competence. And that's a terrible thing, because we need authority and competence. And so you get away from your country, and you get away from your kin and from your father's house, right? And you go out there and you establish yourself in the world. It's a call to adventure. That's what the first lines, that you are not the master of your own house. You go to a party, your heart's beating. Why? The party is a monster. Why? Because it's judging you. It's putting you low down the dominance hierarchy, because that's what a negative judgment is. And that means that you're being harshly evaluated by nature itself, right? So you are confronting the dragon of chaos when you go into the social situation. You know, but that's a logical thing to do in the face of a tyrant. So I'm no threat. You know, you look at the king and you're dead. I'm no threat. I'm hunched over. And then what's happening internally? What are people thinking about me? Am I looking stupid? I'm awkward. I hate being here. Man, I'm sweating too much. It's all internalized, right? It's all self-focused. The I isn't working. What do you tell people? Don't stop thinking about yourself, because you can't. It's like, don't think of a white elephant. You can't tell someone to stop thinking about something because they get caught in a loop. What you do with socially anxious people is you say, look at other people.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more content.